the unskilled are unable to see their own fault. And I'm not calling anyone unskilled because I, for one, compare me to like an LCS player, I'm completely trash. But every single person wants to think they're in the top 50%. And if you ask the average League player, like, if I asked you, Zella, like, how do you think you're doing? And there was no ranking system at all. Would you say you're in the top 50%? At least better than average?
Alright.
Granted, you've never played rank. Pretend you've never played rank.
I've never played rank.
You would evaluate yourself based on your skill. Yep.
Back before they had the rank system, when this was gold, right?
Mm-hmm.
I used to go and see when they had alright! Well, looks like we're gonna be going into game. I told them to hold on. No big deal.
I said ready.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
But yeah, continue your thought.
When I
we still have a couple.
See myself versus the whole rest of the world, you were able to see every single League player and your standing, and I was like, wow, am I really that good? I don't know. Personally, if I was to look at my skill, I would say that I am at least in the top 25%. Now, the 25% is still, 50,000 players.
But you ask the average player, and they will say, I'm, probably better than average.
Oh, yeah.
But here lies the problem. Players that are good, they think, everyone's actually good at League. I'm probably not that good. Because if it's easy for everyone, if everyone's doing really well, what's to say that I'm special? And players who are, worse than the top 50%, like, let's say they're in bottom 90th percentile, they'll be thinking, if this game is so hard for me, it has to be difficult as crap for everyone else. So they'll still think they're better than average. And that's the Dunning-Kruger effect. In terms of ELO hell, you believe that it exists because you're unable to see you're unable to recognize your own mistakes. And therefore, you're making mistakes that prevent you from winning games. And that's probably one reason why I'm not Challenger, because there are mistakes that I'm making that Wild Turtle or Faker would not make. And I'm starting to get a glimpse of how bad my team fighting is. It's like 2 out of 10. I'm not even kidding. I believe my team fighting is literally a 2 out of 10.
It's one of those things that you just learn. You just gotta keep playing.
Right, and
there's so much that goes on in team fights, between positioning, knowing how much you can do, what targets you need to be focusing out. Positioning is the biggest one in my opinion. And the only way you learn is by playing.
Exactly. And I thought I was a good Riven, and I played a little bit of Riven, and then I saw Faker Driven. I'm like, okay, you know what? My Riven's like a 1 out of 10. I thought I was a good Irelia, and then I saw my buddy who is a Diamond 1 Irelia main. And he's going Challenger very soon. And I'm like, okay, well that's how good Irelia plays. Look at his team fighting, look at his mechanics, and it's you kind of get a little wake up call. And for the higher up you go, the more you realize you're not as good as you think you are, just because there are people so much better than you.
That's why
at every step of the way.
I know personally, to get into Diamond, I've said this to my viewers many a time, I need to sit down and actually play League again. I play it casually, but I need to get serious and think about everything before I go and make a fight. Then I can be Diamond. As of right now, I know that I'm a Platinum player at heart, easily, but not any better. And I'm okay.
And now that we're into the Champ Select lobby, bans Nasus, Elise Kassadin, Dr. Mundo, Wukong, and Jinx. So by banning out Dr. Mundo and Nasus, they leave pretty much only 2 viable top laners open that are currently very popular, Shyvana and Renekton. And between the two, Shyvana scales infinitely harder than Renekton into the mid game. Renekton, unless he gets a 15 to 20 CS lead, he's not going to be able to do as much in a team fight as a Shyvana can.
True. I want to point out that the 2 teams here that are playing is going to be Click Splat, who we've been watching all night so far, currently undefeated, continuing maybe, we'll see, this killing spree that they've been on. This then will be versus Samurais in Housecoats. So we are going to be looking, Samurai in Housecoats is the blue team, and purple team will be that Click Splat.
And in the mid lane, if they decide to opt for the Ziggs pick, Ziggs into Gragas is a very, very rough lane for Ziggs. Just because Gragas has so much damage, and his explosive cast pretty much negates Ziggs' W.
Now this blue team, look at that. They have so much lockdown, and that beefy front line is so scary. Shyvana to dive into the back, Vi to dive into the back, Thresh as well throwing down the box, Ziggs with the Mega Inferno Bomb, along with Varus for more lockdown.
So
how do you get into that?
So if you look at blue team, you can't really dive into blue because the Shyvana counter engage, the Vi dive plus the Varus ulti, they're just gonna lock down anyone who tries to dive in. Now they picked up a Gragas, which is a really, really, really good pick because you don't have to dive into that team comp with the Gragas. All you need to do is ult out the ADC and burst him down, and then you kite out Shyvana and you burn down Ziggs.
If they can do it correctly, they're in business. But if they screw up, oy vey. So
they have an Udyr for the jungle, and Udyr is a really, really strong early game jungler. He outduels Vi in a 1v1 situation on even footing, so both same buffs or lack of buffs and gold. But the issue with Udyr is that if you pick Udyr into a Ziggs in the late game, if Udyr is not ahead, he's gonna have a very hard time sieging.
True. And I personally don't like Udyr at all as a jungler because there's too many champions now that have stuns, slows, which are the bane of Udyr's existence. And just teams are building CC so he can't ever do anything. He's got a flash to get a stun off to initiate a fight to have something happen. He doesn't have that gap close like a Lee Sin or a Vi would.
Right, and depending on how Udyr builds, they have 3 damage threats. I would not consider Renekton a damage threat, but I would consider Shyvana a damage threat. Shyvana does so much damage. Renekton, if he's ahead with Hydra or an early Brutalizer, he'll do damage, but in the late game, he doesn't scale nearly as hard. So, purple team, their entire team comp is focused on that Gragas mid lane. The Gragas can make great things happen with the explosive cask, and Ziggs doesn't really have that sort of playmaking potential like a Gragas can. And if Gragas can make the plays and he can get himself ahead and he can get his jungler ahead as a result, then they have dive opportunities with Renekton. They have just a lot more counterplay. But if Gragas gets shut down and bot lane and top lane go even, it's going to be an extremely hard game for purple team.
Now, I like one thing on purple team, which is the Lulu. I am a huge fan of Lulu. I love her. I played so many games. But you also have the Renekton. Renekton dives into the Lulu ultimate. Everyone gets popped up. And then it's just a crapshoot from there. Gragas is able to throw out the barrel rolls or use the explosive cast to separate teams.
If they pick the fight properly and they don't fight under tower, or they get an early lead, then they're in a good position with Caitlyn able to siege down tower and Gragas to disengage. And also Lulu's disengage. So it's either get an early lead so we can abuse the Caitlyn, so camp the Caitlyn out, push down the towers for Caitlyn, or camp the Gragas and use Gragas to make plays and also avoid sieging, because they can't really tower dive into the Thresh, Shyvana, Ziggs if they're on equal footing. If Ziggs is behind, though, it's a different story.
Oh, yeah. But I think purple team doesn't have really that initiator that they want. They're looking for blue team to start the fight. They want them to come in so that they can counter-initiate. Because, I mean, purple, who do they have? You have their
something
combo.
Something like a Lee Sin or an Elise would have been a little bit better. But Udyr is a really, really potent duelist in the jungle. I mean, if you've seen Trick 2G with the red pot start,
oh my gosh,
you should be afraid of the man bear pig.
Should be. Now, who do you guys think is going to win? We always talk about our predictions, and we want to know, as the viewers, what you guys think, who's going to win. As always, I just want to let you guys know that there are 2 other streams going on, too. So if you wanted to check them out, I do have them listed there. They are streaming different groups, but if you guys enjoy what we're doing, feel free to tell your friends. We're going to be doing this will be the last game, I do believe, for the night. So maybe they'll learn something, have some fun, hang out. And of course, after the stream, we are doing that $10 RP giveaway. All you got to do is stick around, follow the stream, and then type in one particular word, and there's going to be a random drawing, and whoever wins it, wins it. I'll send you the code, and you will be $10 an RP richer. But who do you think Dreamless is going to take away? I mean, I know that we did this last time, and currently I'm 1-0, but who's going to win?
My money definitely has to go to...
I'm going blue team. I like that team. I like the lockdown that they have, the poke, the initiation, and even the counter initiation with the Thresh box. I really like it, at least on paper. But we've seen Purple Team last 2 games completely wreck their opponents.
My money, in terms of team comp, if they were on equal footing, I would say blue team, but I do like Purple Team's synergy. And they picked an Udyr into the Vi. It wasn't like a Vi pick, and then like an insta-lock jungler. They definitely thought about it. So, if Udyr can, sort of make his presence known in the jungle, either through counter jungling, then he could possibly shut down the Vi. And then if Vi falls behind, her level 6 ganks are not nearly as deadly. Especially if you're trying to gank through a Lulu ulti, through a Gragas ulti, or through a Renekton ulti. The ganks are really hard.
Well, as everyone loads on in here, we'll see if maybe there's an invade. Have yet to see one so far. I mean, as we had talked about, they're not super important anymore because of that redoing of the First Blood Gold. But even if you invade below a flash here or there, oh man, that is worth.
And the thing is, whenever you invade, you take the risk that you're walking into a baited bush, or you take the risk of not winning the level 1. And if you're confident that you can outplay mechanically, then why take that risk in the first place? Especially if the risk reward ratio is not nearly as high as it used to be.
Now we do come down to, I always like pointing this out, that support start. You see it, at least I see it, in one of 2 ways. Is that Ancient Coin or the Doran Shield. And I see Lulu with the Doran Shield. She's going to be auto-attacking like a monster or a fiend here. At least that's the goal.
Well, with the Doran Shield, she has better trading potential in the early game, at least pre-level 2 on the Thresh. Because Thresh, his coin gold does not give you combat stats. So he spent 365 gold, and all he got was 5 health regen and 3 mana regen. Whereas the Lulu gets 120 health, or 100 health rather, and 8 damage, and actually more regen. So that's the difference between, running all HP quints and not having any quints at all. And in the early game, small things make a big difference. I remember when I was level 1 on my Smurf, just last hitting was phenomenally difficult just because I didn't have the AD to do it.
That's one thing that I tell people who want to learn how to CS better. I say, look, play Ashe, no runes, no masteries, go mid, don't buy anything, just pots because you're gonna take some mini damage. It's a small margin too. 1 or 2 AD or 10 AD, and you feel the difference. That's 100 health, and you're thinking, 100 health. It's not that much. Why can't I get away with gold gen? But when it comes down to it, you'll feel it. Especially when you make a level 1 account and try the last hit. Oh, yeah. And there we go. We see Lulu again, just as we talked about, being a monster already with the auto attacks and the harass, letting Thresh know that, hey, we're here to stay. We're here to park.
And this Shyvana is not trading in very properly against the Renekton.
I mean, she's not trading at all. She's just focusing on the minions. Look at, they've just traded sides and...
And the issue with Shyvana is she has no innate sustain. Renekton can pretty much do the same damage as Shyvana. He's stronger all the way up to level 3. And if Shyvana is tanking minions and trying to trade in minions, or just focusing on CS, she's gonna just run Or not run out of health.
Oh no.
Out of health.
She's gonna run out of that CD.
And Renekton's able to just sustain up. Even if it's just, 10 extra health per minion wave, which obviously it's not, he's gonna end up pulling out ahead after a couple of minion waves.
Almost the snipe there on Varus. Great play with Lulu. She used the shield and then the glitter lance to do as much damage, and then Caitlyn with the Piltover Peacemaker to combo it. They are going on into mid lane here. The slow. Good play from Gragas, just belly bumping on out. Not having to use much.
And Gragas has burned both of his potions, while Ziggs still has both of his potions. Udyr really hasn't made his presence known, but he is 1 camp, 2 camps, now 3 camps ahead of Vi.
And that's the thing, Gragas, at least with that gank, knew. It's right around that 3 minutes and 50-second mark. He's like, hey, Vi hasn't shown anywhere. She's probably coming mid, so we started to back off. Where Udyr is sitting in that jungle, well, they could both be making a play down it, potentially. The pings.
And if Vi busts into Udyr just like this...
There's the duel, as you were talking about.
And now Udyr is free to invade into Vi's jungle and provide vision, just because Gragas is stronger than Ziggs. And Caitlyn and Lulu are winning bot lane. And whenever you have lanes that are winning, you have the option to counter jungle.
See Udyr trying to make a play on bottom. He's going to be coming in from behind.
And remember, Varus has just got to lane. He's only at 6 CS. He's so far behind that he couldn't even afford a second Doran's plate on his back. So he has boots. And this is not the start that blue team wants.
Not at all. And when you get forced out early, that's one of the most hurtful things you can do. It's the early levels. As we see Vi going into the bot lane, Lulu is going to be forced to back away here. The ignite onto the Caitlyn, as she's going to use the 90 caliber net and back away. No problem.
And both the support and the AD carry did not burn Flash. So Vi's next gank is going to be equally futile as long as they're at full health. Even if she goes through a ward, they can't really do anything because they'll have Flash up this time. She needs to wait until level 6 to try something because she's just going to fall further and further behind if she stops CSing. And Udyr scales with CS like crazy.
And you can see that he is farming up a storm. He showed up bottom, he got some farm. He's been clearing out the camps. And when he finally goes back and buys, he's going to have some pretty items. Most likely the boots and the sight, or the spirit stone, if I'm not mistaken.
And League is all about little margins. Whenever you get 1 CS lead, you think, oh, you know, 1 CS is not that much at all. But 1 CS, maybe it means you hit level 2 faster. And maybe it means that you get to buy an item like Doran's Blade as opposed to boots. And margins quickly add up.
I couldn't agree more, especially in mid lane. The times where you're like, okay, I'm just going to leash my jungler a little bit, put some damage down, and you go over and you're Gragas per se, and you barrel roll. Now you're at a quarter mana, but you also just missed 2 minions, which means they're going to hit level 2 before you, and depending on who you're going up against, could all in you, like if you're going up against a Griffin.
Right. And as long as you're a little bit behind, you'll always play scared whenever they're a level up, and that might turn into another CS loss, or another 2 CS loss. And now we see Caitlyn in the bot lane trying to freeze the wave. Varus and Caitlyn are both on equal footing, but Caitlyn, with that Vampiric Scepter, is able to do a little bit more creative things, like, you know, tanking minion shots, freezing a wave, or unfavorable harass, just because she can sustain it up while Varus can't.
Very true. We see Udyr trying to make another play into bottom. Shyvana and Renekton duking it out like children. There's the Udyr. He's looking for the stun. Does land it onto the Thresh. The auto attacks, however, they were underneath turret. They're going to back away unscathed.
With how strong...
There's the Vi showing up in top. Renekton just getting a little bit of a chuckle as he's going to walk away as well.
So this Vi is just power ganking because none of her lanes are winning. Varus and Thresh are really far behind. Ziggs can't beat Gragas in a 1v1. And Shyvana does not beat Renekton until level 7. Especially if you can't trade properly in the early game. You're just slowly going to start to bleed out. And Shyvana's 30 CS behind Renekton. The gold score is 8.7 and 9.9k. All 3 lanes of purple team are winning. And Udyr, knowing that they're winning, is able to just power jungle without having to be forced to apply pressure.
This is one of those things. You take the small victories. We see Renekton's winning in top, Udyr's winning, Gragas is winning, and Caitlyn is dominating.
And
pushing on that turret.
Once Varus backs, we might be able to we might see an early dragon, or by early I mean normal time dragon at 8 or 9 minutes. But it's probably early for a gold tier play.
I was gonna say most, you know, people who play, at least down in the gold or silver, which is what we are casting here, don't go for those dragons until they've killed either both people in bottom or they know that 100% it is safe to go into.
Right.
They don't like taking those risky plays.
And there's a lot more bloodbath, actually, and I'm kind of surprised that the kill count isn't higher. But in the mid lane, like I said, Gragas is just manhandling the Ziggs because Ziggs, he doesn't have sustain. And Gragas, even though his sustain is 2%, it's a marginal amount of sustain, but it slowly adds up.
Very true. Now, looking at bot lane, Varus just hit level 5. Caitlyn and Lulu will be hitting level 6 off the next wave. That's going to be something to watch out for. We see Udyr rotate on down. It could be a bad mix, recipe for disaster.
And Shyvana is dangerously low at this point. She's going to be back any second now, and Draxton can...
Oh, there goes the hook, and Vi's going to be coming in there, going to be going on to the Lulu. Varus finally turning around, taking a bunch of damage, repositioning himself behind the line as Vi comes in with the first blood. Udyr showing up too little too late.
And I'm surprised Lulu didn't ulti and exhaust Varus or Vi. That would have given her just enough time to turn it around and let Udyr get in for the counter gank.
Or even flash. Like, she still has all her summoners and her ultimate. She just used pretty much her run to try and get out of that situation. And you can't do that. You gotta try to do something else. You know that Vi has the ultimate. If they're already focusing you, they want you dead.
You can always laugh your way out. It actually works very well with Lulu.
Well,
It's like, oh no, the Lulu left. Okay, alright, I'm out. I'm sorry.
thing I hate when you spam Lulu, Lux laugh, just those high-pitched, or even Vigars, like, it's so annoying. I get so mad, and then I play like her. It's the bait, it's the Teemo laugh, too.
It's the next level strategies.
But as we see, top lane, look, 92 farm to 62, and neither one have backed. We're level 9, and they're each sitting on so much gold. Connected on 2,000, almost 3. Shyvana on 2,200. They can go back in.
And here is the early dragon. Just because there was no lane pressure from bot lane, because Varus is so far behind, he feels compelled to farm. And Caitlyn going back, getting that BF sword while Varus has boots instead of the BF sword, they're never going to be able to trade.
Never.
And Udyr is just farming up a storm. Surprisingly, Vi has caught up because Udyr spent so much time jungling and ganking that he didn't actually buy the jungle item.
See, top Shyvana's forced to ultimate out. She needs to go home. I mean, both these laners are so low. And this is, there we go. And there we see Renekton finally backing. I was just waiting. Oh, they do hook onto the Caitlyn though. The Varus ultimate completely whiffing. If there was a time to fight, I'd be calling down Udyr and bringing the bottom.
And that's the main issue of Udyr right now. He can't really find the ganks. He's trying to power jungle, but he didn't finish his Lizard Elder. Instead, he opts for a recurve bow, which I don't think was the right choice.
Is he gonna rush Wit's End? Curious now. Normally you'll see, you know, the whole jungle item being finished, either of the three, but he wanted more attack speed.
The jungle items inherently give you gold gen off of the passive, so they're extremely gold efficient.
Oh, and there goes the Caitlyn ultimate, but the body block from Thresh is gonna stop it.
And anytime now, Caitlyn should be taking down this tower and starting to siege mid lane, especially with Gragas being able to bully Ziggs. So here's the counter jungling Udyr.
Oh, we see Vi turning back in, and they're gonna duke it out here. Looks like the two of them. Ziggs trying to come on over. His whole battery gonna be going down. There comes the Mega Inferno Bomb, but it does miss! However, the Ignite is gonna tick. As the ultimate coming out from Gragas, and now they're gonna be turning onto him. He is kicked backwards. They're gonna be going onto the Vi. One more auto attack is all it's gonna take. There he goes. He bashes his head into her head, and it's a KO knockout.
Ouch. That looked quite painful.
Well, I thought Vi was headstrong. I guess it had to be.
Ziggs completely out of mana at the end of that fight. Not a good position to be in, but they did pick up a 1-for-1.
It was, but at the same time, is it worth it? I mean, you got Vi the kill, but you gave Gragas the other kill.
Well, Udyr right now is really far behind, and because he has no finished items at 14 minutes, he's a recurve bow, a null magic mantle, which obviously building for the wit's end, and no source of gold gen. He's gonna get outscaled by Vi, especially when Vi has Moby boots and is able to make those plays. So Vi currently the better jungler right now.
She's on ahead. The other thing is, looking at top lane, you have Renekton, who already has the Sunfire Cape finished, where Shyvana opted to get the Vamp Scepter to try and get some sustain, so the 24-ish HP back every time she Qs, but it's not enough to fight this Renekton.
So this Renekton isn't actually autoing between all of his abilities. A proper Renekton will auto, and then cancel the rest of the auto animation with a Q, and then movement to cancel the Q animation, and then uses E. So just like I said, Riven can animation cancel, so can Renekton. Renekton actually can burst for 600 damage in half a second if he animation cancels properly.
So you want to explain that one more time with the animation canceling?
Okay, so whenever you use an attack, you basically do damage somewhere in the animation, right? And then the animation plays out and you don't do damage. For example, when you right-click something with someone like Misfortune.
We see Vi going on in here. They're going to be looking onto the Lulu. There goes the flash into Q, and the Assault Battery come down. Is going to lock down the Lulu. However, the Overgrowth is going to keep her alive, but the lockdown, so much damage. They are going to be able to pick up one. Caitlyn's looking for two, does get the auto attacks in. She needs to keep right-clicking. One more, looking for the triple. However, the bush is warded, and there we go. Barrier coming out on the ultimate point blank for a triple kill.
What
the ace in Mars' hold.
Oh.
I don't know why Caitlyn had to do the point blank ultimate, but I guess adding insult to injury.
The humiliation. But yes, the damage of the auto attack is not applied immediately. There's an animation, and then either the damage is applied somewhere in the middle of the animation, the beginning of the animation, or the end of the animation. Someone like Misfortune, she shoots, and the damage is instant. So as soon as you see the damage, you can move her. Right?
Yeah.
So you can do that with Renekton, and you can do that with Riven, in which you cancel the auto attack animation as soon as you see the damage, because the damage is applied very early in the animation. So if you actually click a minion on Riven and you try to click another minion, it's very hard to actually cancel the auto attack animation. The damage will still go through because it's so crisp.
Good to know. I'm gonna have to go and try this again. I gotta go play Renekton now. Some animations, because I had no idea.
Just use a spell or use a skill as soon as you auto, and then move right after you use a skill and repeat.
Now, wouldn't that count for just refreshing your auto attack? So if you use an auto attack spell, auto attack. Oh, they're gonna be going on to the Ziggs here. Ziggs, beautiful flash, timing it perfectly with the explosive cast as Vi is stuck in the dragon pit, but forcing that Udyr to tank it. Oh, and the pull out. However, the ignite is gonna get the kill.
And they pick up the kill and the dragon. A huge pickup for purple team. And right now the gold, 4K gold lead. But now Renekton is having a little bit of problem with Shyvana. Shyvana finishing the Sunfire Cape, also getting the Vamp Scepter.
Gragas in the mid lane though with Ziggs. Is the red buff tick gonna be enough to flash belly bump? Ziggs,
It's the belly bump.
They're trying to pull out like the Bash Brothers, where each one do like that chest bump, except Ziggs was not having it, and
And I'm kind of questioning this Renekton's build against Shyvana. He opted for Sunfire Cape, but I don't think he realized that Shyvana is 75% magic damage. And rushing a Sunfire Cape against an AP Bruiser is not the best idea.
Well, I think that's why he's going for the Negatron Cloak and then eventually the Spirit Visage here. He got the Sunfire to push early to keep Shyvana at her.
And that's one of the issues with Sunfire Cape. You lose diving potential. Just because when you're under turret, you'll take so much damage from the turret. And prior to Sunfire, you can actually walk up to them, position yourself for some sort of auto attack harass. But with Sunfire, as soon as you get near them and you're near the turret, you'll take turret aggro immediately.
Now, just look at this bot lane just for a moment. You have Varus, who his damage item is Vamp Scepter, Doran's Blade, and a Pickaxe, to Caitlyn's full Bloodthirster and the Doran's Ring. You see Vi in bottom once again trying to step up. However, there's going to be a cupcake right there. Oh, but the Assault Battery come down. They're going to be hooking the Lulu as well. The Overgrowth coming out. They are going to play backwards, and Caitlyn sitting in the back trying to put the damage down. Lulu is still going to fall. Unfortunately,
Caitlyn was out of mana, and Lulu still doesn't have the requisite wards to be extending out that far.
But here's Udyr, and oh, he dodges the flay, the auto attacks. He needs to, oh, but the Lantern click seemed like it was out of range. However, the flash as well, the stun, he's looking, he has the Wit's End, he does proc. He's still going. Caitlyn with the auto attack needs one more. Not going to be able to make it a 1v1, or 1-2-1, sorry. The other thing is we did not see how Gragas died in mid lane to the Ziggs. Just a little interesting. I don't know how that all played out. Maybe a misclick or a tower dive failure. Maybe
possibly. Well, he did dive in the middle of the lane, and I do believe mid tower is down. So it could have been. It could have been some sort of he goes in on Ziggs and Ziggs puts in the mines, so he couldn't actually get away.
Maybe. Hard to say.
Especially if you miss your barrel, a lot of your damage output is pretty much diminished. And right now, Shyvana's catching up really rapidly, just because Shyvana is scales so much harder than Renekton into the mid game. And with that Bilgewater Cutlass, she's able to sustain a lot of the damage, and she can actually outtrade Renekton starting level 9.
Absolutely, and we see Vi's making a look up at the top lane, going to be taking those doubles, maybe turning around and then ganking top here. See the stun coming out. There's the Vi. She is missing the Q, but does burn the flash from Renekton now. Going to be pushing onto this top turret. Nothing Renekton can do. He just needs to go on home. However, Vi charging the Q. Does get the auto tech using the assault battery. She needs to just keep auto tech as Udyr shows up. However, the double dash quickly gets him out of there. Now they're going to be turning onto the Udyr. Vi taking the minions. Udyr being a total man. He's trying to get in there. Is going for the stun. However, Vi is going to be able to dash out as Varus.
Ziggs coming up as well.
And he flashes to stop the Thresh from blocking the ultimate. Oh, miscommunication in bottom. Get that Varus killed once again.
And Udyr actually doesn't get the kill. Vi makes it out.
Vi died.
Oh wait, no, Vi does die. I was like, what? She's not on the map. I would assume that she was in base.
No, the big counter on the side says that she's died here. And who got the kill? That's a great question. I'm guessing it
Gragas.
Udyr.
Gragas, I believe, picked up the kill.
Okay.
I could be wrong though, don't quote me.
Could be used for the explosive caskets to cool down, so that would make sense. But again, when Riot servers don't want to change the camera so you can see.
With a finished Spirit Visage, Renekton's going to be able to outduel Shyvana now.
And we can see that Shyvana running onto Renekton and does no damage. Absolutely nothing.
But the thing is, this Renekton's afraid to auto-attack Shyvana when her burnout's down, and that's the wrong mentality to have.
He needs to go in there, and when that burnout's on cooldown, when it's not on cooldown, irrelevant, he's bigger. He needs to just be focusing around just with auto attacks all day, using skills, spamming the abilities. They don't cost him anything.
And he's not really using his E offensively, which kind of is a little bit of an issue.
It's a huge part with the Renekton when you're able to hit the armor shred. Oh, there we go. The ignite coming down onto the Shyvana. The damage coming out that last tick. And he did get pulled with the dragon descent, and was able to use the Q and picked up the kill.
And Renekton now 1-0. Shyvana 0-1. Shyvana's still in a relatively good spot, but she needs
Mega Inferno Bomb going down. Lulu sitting there trying to go for the ward. Does get ward baited, and she is going to die from the 6. Wow. This is why the ward is not worth it sometimes. You lose your life for absolutely no reason. They got the dragon, they needed to just walk out.
Regardless though, 3 towers to 0. Two dragons up for purple team. And they're at a commanding 10k gold lead. 9k rather.
Yeah.
But 9k, 10k, same thing.
But it's still a close game. I mean, purple team is ahead. Blue team just has to sit down. They need to relax, keep farming, doing what they're doing, and just looking for those opportunities to make a couple kills. That's all they have to do.
Especially with blue team's late game, it's going to be extremely scary with the amount of AoE lockdown. But Caitlyn is quickly starting to get out of hand.
She's got that static shift. She's looking for that last whisper. She needs a couple more waves. She'll go back and get it. And purple team can team fight at that point. That's all they need to do is force blue into an area and just start sieging. Get Gragas blue buff, Caitlyn poking non-stop.
But these inhibitor turrets and even outer turrets, they're a lot harder to siege down in season 4.
What we do see going on at top here, the Cutlass coming down. Udyr's trying to run away. Renekton's a mile off. There goes the Ignite as well, the Flash. However, the bear stance, he is going to survive. He's going to regen HP like nothing ever happened.
This Udyr is a trooper. I don't know how many times I've seen him in the jungle with sub 300 health. You know what? It doesn't matter.
Oh, we do see the explosive cask and the barrel roll coming out after the fact. Now that's a huge cooldown that's down. Here we go. We see purple team starting that siege. They're going to be just backing off. It's that mid dance that I absolutely hate, where they're like, let's poke, let's not fight, but we want to initiate, and it drives me crazy.
I've seen a couple good engages where Gragas will throw his barrel out, throw his ulti, and ult you into his barrel.
Oh, my favorite thing.
The barrel will just be like out in the randomly out in the middle of nowhere, and you're like, oh, what is this barrel doing here? Oh, I'm on top of the barrel. What?
It's so true. Oh, we do see the hook going down. By charging up the cube, isn't going to have anything happen.
And they choose not to engage on it because Shyvana's still bottling. Shyvana's going to be pushing up that wave and going to look mid and force a fight. And there's still 9k gold in the lead.
Could be Shyvana could be waiting right over the race to make something happen. They do hook onto the Gragas, who is one of the opportune individuals that you want to go on. You want to take the Gragas. He's so big.
Gragas right now, a full Void Staff up on Ziggs, and that's all from the Dragon Control. And the 70 CS.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's a big part of the CS difference here.
But until once he gets Zhonya's, this Gragas is going to be unkillable, especially his CS, averaging 10 CS per minute.
You're finding the Vi in the jungle doing so much damage, holy cow! Oh, and the Caitlyn ultimate isn't going to be enough. No, and throwing up a ward to try and block maybe the Caitlyn ultimate? Not too sure, but she popped out a Draven.
And this is what I was talking about. An Udyr will always be able to outduel a Vi 1v1. And if you pressured that early game instead of trying to go for the counter ganks, and you started to counter jungle the Vi, I think he would be in a much better spot. But right now his team is doing phenomenally just because of how strong the lanes were.
Well, the other thing also is Vi has straight damage. I mean, has the Black Cleaver, has the Lizard Elder, as compared to the Wit's End, and basically the tankiness with the Ward Spell and the Giant Spell on the Udyr.
And Lulu picks up the Talisman of Ascension after the Dorn Shield. It's still good to go Talisman just because the active is so extremely powerful. And you also get a little bit of gold gen.
See, that repositioning skill, basically off of the Orb of Ascension.
It's a mini Sivir ulti.
That's insane.
And Sivir ulti is extremely good. But the one reason why I collapsed so early is just because Lulu had that Dorn Shield. She was able to walk up and auto attack without any fear of Thresh Hook, just because she knew that even if Thresh hooked her and they went in, she would come out on top.
Very true. Now we see purple team going on back. They're going to finish up some items and continue on just farming, it seems. I mean, Dragon's up in a minute. Maybe there'll be another play down there. Grax is going to be rotating over, picking up the blue buff. And it's kind of just back to that stalemate, that mid-game.
Yep, and here's that mid-game stall. And I don't believe that purple team has to mid-game stall. They're so much stronger, and they have the ability to siege. But the biggest issue is the Ziggs. The Ziggs are just wave clear. And wave clear, and wave clear, and wave clear, and wave clear. And they don't want to deal with that. They don't want to deal with the threat of their Caitlyn getting picked off. But even when Thresh landed 2 or 3 hooks onto Gragas, onto Lulu, they decided not to go in. So they should have sort of realized that their purple team is playing, or blue team is playing scared.
And I don't know why. I mean, purple team, I know that they don't have the initiation, but they have the poke. They could go and sit at a tower all day long. Gragas throwing out barrels non-stop. But they do catch the Thresh here. Over Shyvana coming up, but Udyr not caring at all, sticking right to the flash to try and get out.
And this could be a transition Baron attempt. They have the ward coverage, they have the positioning advantage, and they have a really low Thresh. They're able to win the 5v5 as long as they don't commit fully to Baron and they commit to. Is this an invisible Baron?
It is an invisible Baron. There is currently a glitch where Baron shows up invisible. However, the backhand firm coming down, doing so much damage to Lulu. However, she's used to ultimate, and now Vi's in the back with the Thresh Renekton jumping on in. He's going to take it down. We see Gragas and Caitlyn in the back, still doing damage, still carrying. Vi is going to die here, and that is 4 members of Purple Team still chasing down, looking for the kill. Oh, but the flash, Gragas still going, has the red buff. He's just got to get there for the belly bump. He does flash. Now minions are on the way. They're instead just going to push down the mid lane.
And now that purple team is baroned up and 2 members of blue team is down, they're able to probably take the next. Oh wow, that's a lot of damage coming out on Ziggs.
I thought he was gonna kill him, but then I looked. I was like, "There's no flash. There's no explosive cask. There's nothing they can do."
And barrier is a great summoner to run against a Gragas in lane, just because of his burst potential. You don't want to be randomly bursted out.
Can't tell you the amount of times I fight at 6. As Gragas, I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna be a totally easy lane." At 6, I toss out the explosive cask, and there goes the barrier, and my face just goes from yeah to a frowny face as he survives. Happens all the time.
I mean, when you know you don't have kill potential, especially in a 1v1, there's no reason to run the ignite.
Now we're looking on purple team. Finally going to go on back. Going to pick up their items. The only thing that's left for an outer turret is that top outer, and I don't even think they need to go and get it. If they just push up mid and start the siege, they can take that turret and the inhibitor. No problem.
Alright, let's test your prediction skills, Zella. Do you think they'll go for the top turret, or do you think they'll go for a mid inhibitor first?
I think, based off how we've seen them play so far, they're going to go for that top tower. They're going to take another little gold advantage and continue it on.
Okay, I would completely agree with that as well.
No matter how much I want to see them push down mid. We do see there's all 5 members over in the jungle. They're trying to make a play. Talisman coming out. They're just going to back away, take the blue buff, giving it over to the Caitlyn so that Caitlyn can poke down even more.
And at this point, blue team needs a really good engage in which, you know, ideally the Caitlyn nuts the wrong way or gets hooked and they just blow her up. But right now, Gragas has the Zonias completed, and when Gragas completes Zonias and he's pretty much full item at 32 minutes, you know, bar sans 1 Doran's ring, you can't really kill. You can't kill him. It's almost impossible to.
There we go. This is everyone's just poking it on down. They want to get that top tower, but Ziggs has great wave clear along with Varus. He's both able to use the Qs and clear it all away. Again, this is that foreplay dance that everyone does, where it's like, oh hey, I poked you a little bit, you poked me a little bit, and it's up to blue to make something happen, because purple team, they don't have an initiator.
And Udyr is going to look mid and split push mid, just because Udyr is extremely useless trying to siege into a Ziggs due to all the mines, unless he's going to go for the dive. So he's just going to be really annoying walking around. He's not going to die, I don't think.
Oh,
And as a
do see
result,
it top. Udyr may die here, however, he is going to flash. He's just going to bear on out of there. Oh, Shyvana diving on in, though. Does look for the kill, however, Lulu with a beautiful ultimate is going to save his life. And that Zigzag does miss. What a great play.
and this could be the inhibitor winning push right here. And possibly they could transition into mid-inhib, especially with both the AD carry and the tank line down.
See Udyr just tanking it on out. No big deal. However, he's incredibly low. Looking for that Lulu shield. Oh, but it was not up. Lulu did not have mana. Looking to go in, but instead chooses to back on out. Top inhibitor is now down for blue team, so they're going to have to worry about constant minions going up there. Udyr, though, in that last fight, did phenomenal. Was able to go mid, split push, take the Thresh, and the Shyvana there with him. Thus, allows purple team to just 4-man top, no problem taking the tower and pushing him.
What I find really, really funny is the Udyr getting executed. Now, if we consider the play all the way up to that point, perfect.
Well,
but
he wasn't
we gotta give credit. We gotta give credit to the Lulu though. That's the reason he's alive in the first place.
True, he would have died before the Shyvana, but the Lulu saved him. And then, he got overly aggressive and banked that Lulu would save his butt again. That only happens once in a blue moon.
I love Lulu's walking animation. It's just too funny.
Now, what's your opinion? Do you like the winter Lulu skin, or do you like?
I actually like Dragon Tamer Lulu.
Really?
And did you know when Lulu dies, she basically just vanishes into midair, and all that's left of her is her hat.
That's a good point. She just turns into pixie dust. We see purple team here, kind of just waiting around. Baron's up in a minute, as well as Dragon. Looks like they're just trying to set up for it. You alright over there?
Yup, I am completely okay. Sorry, I was just repositioning my computer.
Didn't know if you fell down or the computer went with you. Took a little tumble, not sure. We do see purple being at Baron a little early. I don't know if they have a minute timed off here. Still have 50 seconds for that sucker to respawn.
And at this point in time, there's not much that blue team can do. It's slowly a battle of attrition. They're slowly gonna just pressure the objectives. If they can get a Baron steal off of Zig's ulti though, that would be fantastic for a comeback. But
that's what they need.
They need some sort of misplay. Because right now they can't fight 5v5. They can't even fight 4v5.
True. What needs to happen is they tank Baron. They're all going to have their magic resist reduced. Ziggs uses Mega Infernal Bomb. They have Vi for the ability to go on in there, dive to the carry, take out the Caitlyn, or take out the Gragas. They have the box that can be dropped right in front. Shyvana can go in the back. Varus with the lockdown. They have more than enough CC to make something happen. They just got to do it. And Baron, wow. Just evaporated.
They're right on the money.
Shyvana trying to go in there. There's the Mega Inferno Bomb. Too little, too late.
And here we go. Here's the game-winning push. Let's see. Alright, so let me ask you. Who do you think is going to die first?
On what team?
On either team. In the entire team fight.
Who's the first to die? I'm going to be honest. If it's on purple team, it's Udyr. If it's on blue team, it's probably going to be Varus.
Huh. I'm gonna put my money on...
Oh, there we go. They're gonna be jumping on in. The explosive gas almost able to kill the Varus as Vi is taken down and she gets sniped down. Now Shyvana now exhausted, trying to run away here, causing everyone to get some burnout. Oh, but there's the Gragas going on in. The ace in the hole is not enough, but the built-over Peacemaker will secure the kill as purple team taking down the mid inhibitor. It's gonna be taking down the top as well.
And with 2 down, I do not think that they can end the game, but they can certainly try and poke down the tower, especially with the Baron regen buff and Caitlyn's teaching abilities. But they wisely decide to just sort of face tank the tower and back out.
Everything going on the bottom. here with that constant shield, able to stand stance, but is going to back away, not trusting the Lulu for the shield. Captain is more than happy to tank it out. He has just as much armor. Caitlyn down the hurt, using the Piltover Peacemaker Knight Caliber to disengage. Great combo.
And with the recent changes to the inhibitor in Season 4, these games have become a lot slower. I mean, Purple Team in the commanding seat ever since pretty much 15 minutes. And if this was Season 3, they would have closed this out within 5-10 minutes. But because it's Season 4 and the inhibitors don't actually buff minions coming in from other lanes, we're looking at 30, 39, 40, even 45-minute matches, which is just surprising.
This is one thing where Blue knows, hey, we're behind. We just need to relax. We need to focus, and that's what they're doing. They're sitting there constantly pushing lanes, getting as much money as they can, and trying to put that money onto the carries. So we see Varus now with 200 farm. Though he is 5-5, he's got some items now, so he does do a little bit of damage. You have Ziggs. He's got his Death Cap, Void Staff. He does a little bit of damage. There's no one to just do it all yet. They're not to that late game stat.
The gold gap is to the point where it's kind of insurmountable. Varus is 0 and 5 with only 3 damage items to Caitlyn's pretty much full build.
Yeah, it's not looking pretty, and now all Purple has to do is sit here, kind of dance around, and wait for super minions to come on into
It is almost impossible to lose a game if you have all 3 inhibitors.
There's Gragas going on in with the explosive cask onto the Ziggs, however the body block. Oh, but he is going to get shut down from the Ignite. Udyr tanking onto the turrets here as Thresh jumps into the back. Onto the Lulu, the box coming out. Varus using his Q, doesn't hit anything. Caitlyn picking up the double kill. She's still alive though, even though she did get tossed into the wall. Shyvana is trying to run away, does make it into the base. Gragas doing a ton of damage, but he's going to get hooked into the super laser as Shyvana will pick up the kill. And now Purple taking down the Nexus here. No question asked. No harm done. It's a good game. Wow. Well, I was off on my prediction.
Well, that's to be expected.
Wow, here we go again. On paper, I really liked Blue Team. I thought that they had it, but...
They did have it, but it was a very conditional victory for them. They had to have a winning bot lane, and the matchups were far superior on Purple Team. I think part of the issue was Thresh starting the the coin as opposed to the Doran shield. And when you're down 100 health and some of that damage block, he was just afraid of just going in and trading with Lulu. So Lulu was getting these auto attacks off for free. He didn't apply the sort of lane pressure that the Lulu did. And as a result, Varus, even though he poked out Caitlyn early with his Qs, he couldn't do much. And Caitlyn just used his superior range and Lulu's poke. And she was able to poke with impunity pretty much throughout the entirety of the laning phase. And that just really set the pace for bot lane. So if you're able to snowball an early lead, or you're just able to snowball off of 1 or 2 autos, then the Doran shield is infinitely more useful than any sort of gold gen item. I mean, you can always pick up the gold gen item after the Doran shield on your first back, but I think it was a fantastic pickup.
Just a great game overall. Congratulations once again. That is going to be, who is it? Click Splat. They've been undefeated so far. 3 victories. We've seen every single one of them here tonight. And that is going to be Samurais and Housecoats, who will then be bumped down to the losers bracket. And
what do you think was the play of the game?
Oh man, play of the game. It's really hard. There was not really any plays that were spectacular that I thought really shined against anything else. I liked Devi's attempt. This is going to be my plays of the game. Because every time Vi went bottom, they locked down the Lulu there. I just thought that was a good move to try and bring bot lane back into the game, even though it was pretty much a lost cause. What about you? You got a favorite play?
I really don't think that there were any fantastic or really outstanding plays, but I think the vibe made like I completely agree with you. You know, despite being 2-7, she made a lot of really good early game plays, forced a lot of flashes, fell behind in CS, and caught back up in the mid game, especially once she picked up that Lizard Elder.
Absolutely. Now, guys, what did you think, viewers here? Was the big play of the game your favorite play? Who do you think got MVP? Then, of course, if you have any questions, just let us know in the chat. I personally think MVP goes to that Caitlyn.
Without a doubt, MVP goes to Caitlyn. Just her dominance in the laning phase. And was it Damage Zappa who played Draven last game?
It was.
He is a very, very, very solid AD carry player. A close second goes to the Gragas for being able to just bully out the Ziggs and for his phenomenal farming.
And I mean, we've seen that Damage Zappa has been playing so well all night, and maybe we'll see him. I mean, of course, if he wins one more game, he is going to be brought into the LCS, kind of for PFG. So that's all it's going to take is one more win, and we will see him week after week in that play.
Very nice.